Hi. All right. So, I am not going to wait. I'm just going to start talking. And if you have anything to say, make a comment. Um, I'm I really, really need to get this off my chest. So here it is. Um, we lost someone yesterday who has been important in the United States as as a whole. Um, she was an advocate and a warrior against everything having to do with with the repression of women. She was a warrior and an advocate toward the LGBT plus community. Was she was there for us when we needed someone who was not about what was going to give her money or support her, but what was constitutionally correct. Ruth Bader Ginsburg was she was she was an animal. She was a wolverine. I'd say something bigger, but I mean she was what 3.5 feet and weighed 4 pounds soaking wet. Um, but she was she was an animal. She was a complete and total predator against those who wanted to destroy marginalized communities. She she fought for us. She dissented wrong um, findings from the Supreme Court. She wrote some incredibly wise um, decisions that the court made. Um, I'm scared to death right now. Um, I'm fearful. We have Brett Kavanaugh on the Supreme Court right now. Brett Kavanaugh is a sexual predator. He's worse than a piece of shite. He's a horrible human being, and we have him on the Supreme Court. We have Neil Gorsuch. Neil Gorsuch was he's he's not nearly as bad as Kavanaugh, as far as I'm concerned, but he's much worse than he's much worse than others, and it scares me that we are going to have someone who is even worse than Kavanaugh, because who do we have in the presidency who is going to be nominating um, a replacement for Ginsburg? I I am fearful because we don't need anyone who is as bad as Gorsuch or worse than Kavanaugh on on our Supreme Court. We need someone who is who thinks, who has a brain, and is concerned about the citizens and really understands constitutional law. Um, um, I don't. I don't care if they're conservative when it comes to constitutional law. What I'm concerned about is that they are. I'm afraid that they will be um, ultra right and try to make decisions based on religion, particularly very narrow minded, hateful, um, um, Pentecostal, bigoted religion. That should never be a part of what the justices should think, should feel, should make their decisions based on. Um, there's another part to this whole thing, and that is this. Um, I'm I'm scared to death that um, Mitch McConnell, who I think is he's a horrible human being. Mitch McConnell is probably worse, in my opinion, than Herr Führer, Lord Dampnut, the great impeached orange usurper. Um, I think I think Mitch McConnell is he wrote the book that Satan read to be evil, and Satan comes nowhere close to being as evil as Mitch McConnell is. Um, I I think that man um, needs to be dethroned. I think he needs to be voted out. I think he needs to be completely and utterly. Um, um, he needs to be dethroned. Um, I I think that what his entire plan has always been is to ensure that the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. There is nothing when I look at his record, he is as anti-Christian as I could even think about. Yet he touts Christianity, and it's it's sad to me that there are so many people who think he belongs where he's at. Um, he does not belong where he's at. He is he is evil. He is one of the reasons America is being destroyed. And um, uh, that aside, um, there are there are several things that I really wanted to say right now, and here they go, all out. Um, there are many things that we can do as constituents of everyone who is in the Senate. We have the right, we have the responsibility, we have the ability to contact our senators um, and tell them that they must, in no uncertain terms whatsoever, absolutely refuse to vote for a judge until Inauguration Day or until after Inauguration Day. This is what is only right. If that's what Mitch McConnell did with Obama, and after Scalia died in February of 2016. And it was McConnell who refused to make a vote of a judge nominated by Merrick Garland. Would have been an incredible addition to the Supreme Court. But in February, McConnell decided that he was going to not vote. He was not going to put up for a vote. He was not even going to have a hearing for Merrick Garland, because it was an election year. It was too close to an election for the president, and the people had to make a decision. So he held it off until after Inauguration Day in 2017. In order for the Republican Party to not look as hypocritical as they actually are, you, every one of you all need to start calling your senators right now and tell them to refuse to vote on any nominee until after Inauguration Day 2021. It is the right thing to do. It is the moral thing to do. It is I'm going to coin a phrase here because I'm not really sure what word to use. It is the unhypocritical thing to do. Because it's the principled thing to do. If it was a thing in 2016, it must be a thing in 2020. There should not be a vote for a Supreme Court justice before Inauguration Day 2021. Period. It's the principled thing to do. If you said it in 2016, it must be true in 2020. So, I am asking all of you, call your senators right now. Call any senator right now. Call them all. Flood their phones and tell them that they must not vote for a justice. Because here's the thing. What's going to happen? It's already been talked about that Roe v. Wade could be overturned like that, with the right amount of justices. That's going to affect the lives of women all over our nation. I don't even care about the LGBTQ plus rights. I'm LGBTQ. It's a thing I've fought all my life. I'm 55 years old. I've fought it all my life. I'll fight it again. I'll continue fighting. But when there's already something that is set in place that is going to protect a woman's right to choose what she does with her own body, that should remain in place. It should not be even on the table. And yet, we have the possibility of it being taken away. I'm not willing. I'm not willing to make that fight all over again. It's already been won. And to think about the possibility that there is going to be some asshole bastard put on the bench who is going to who is going to force a woman to carry a child that she doesn't want or that is going to kill her, and to not make that safe and a medical procedure, um pisses me off. I'm One thing that I always tell people whenever I'm talking about this, and I'm going to make this perfectly clear. Personally, I don't really I'm I'm not for abortion, but I'm never going to get pregnant. I it's not a thing for me, right? I don't have a uterus. I'm not going to get pregnant. What I am for is for her, whoever it is, to be able to make her own decision with her doctor, with her physician, with whoever. She has the right. It's her body. Even if it were my wife, not that I'm ever going to get married to a woman again, but even if it was my wife, I don't have the right to tell her that she has to carry that child to full term. It's not my body that is going to have to go through all that. If it were my body, I probably wouldn't. But that's me. And because I don't have a uterus, I really can't make that decision, really, can I? Um, all I do is shoot out the sperm, right? Um, so it's the woman's body who is going to have to go through all of this, going to have to go through all the changes, going to go all through the emotional and hormonal wacko that goes on during pregnancy. Um, I I was married. I I lived with a woman who had to deal with her pregnancy, with her menstruation, and then with menopause. Plus, I had to deal with my daughter who began her menstruation. I know that the hormones going on in there start just the hormones in the body just fuck you up. Why am I going to force you to go through? Why am I going to force you to go through all of that shite when you don't even want the baby in the first place? I should not be the one to tell you that you have to go through all that. And before the end of the first trimester, what is it? That's nothing but a mass of cells that have the potential of becoming a life, but also have the potential of becoming a miscarriage, and then really destroying your life altogether again because you want the baby but you've lost it naturally. I went off on a tangent. I'm sorry. I'm frustrated because with the loss of Justice Ginsburg, we have lost an advocate for women's rights. We don't. I don't have someone telling me that I have to get my vas deferens cut. I I don't. I I don't have someone telling me that I absolutely have to have a vasectomy. I don't have someone telling me that I'm responsible for a child that my sperm created and that I literally have to take care of that child for the next 18 years because that child has my DNA. Um, Sometimes DSHS will do that, but um, what if I contest it? I can contest it, say it's someone else's child. I can I can contest it and say I ain't working. I get to relieve myself of all responsibility. Why? Because I have a dick. That's it. I get to relieve myself of all responsibility of any child that I create, one way or another. I might have to wind up. I mean, especially if I'm in a position where I have money, I might actually have to end up paying a little bit of child support. But even at that, it's a little bit of child support. It's a little bit of an inconvenience. Um, but she will spend the next 18 years raising that child and the rest of her life being a mother to that child. I can relieve myself of it. Where is the responsibility for the men? There is none. Women have to go through all of this. They have to. Uh, I'm a victim of rape. I know what it's like to be raped. A woman who is raped and winds up pregnant because of it has to relive that moment, that second, every fucking moment of that pregnancy, and has to look at that child every second of every day for the rest of her life, knowing how that child was conceived. That child was not conceived in love. That child was received in pain, in anger, in humiliation. In there's so many things involved, and there are men who are forcing her, want to force her to carry that child to full term. Sorry. But as soon as that happens, as if my daughter, any of my friends, anyone were raped, I would take them right down and say, as soon as you get checked out by the hospital to make sure that you're safe that way, I'm taking you here and you're going to take the morning after pill. If I don't hear about it until later, I'm going to say, we're going to the clinic and you're going to get an abortion. I'm not going to force you. I don't want you to live with this for the next however many years you're going to live, and especially for the next 9 months. Before Roe v. Wade, thousands of women were destroyed. Their lives were ruined. They were made sterile. They died because of sepsis. They they there were just so many things. Um, they went to back alleys to have quacks um, essentially ruin their lives, or they went up to their bedrooms and they took wire hangers and they destroyed themselves, and they either died or they were made sterile, or any number of complications. Roe v. Wade made this particular procedure a medical procedure that is safe, that is antiseptic, that is available to them so that they don't have to suffer with the memory of a rape, or have an unwanted child that they can't afford to take care of, and still make them fertile so that when they are ready and they are able and they are, then they're able to. We take away this. We take away women's autonomy. We start becoming Gilead from The Handmaid's Tale. We start controlling who women are. And we can't do that. That's a step backwards. We can't step backwards. We must always step forward. And that's the fear that I have right now. That we have a big fat ass oaf in the office who wants to take us backwards. It's been proven over and over and over and over again the last 4 years. We can't have him choose the replacement for Justice Ginsburg. Ruth Bader Ginsburg was a fighter. She was a hero. She was I'm just going to say it. She was a fucking superhero. She had powers beyond. It breaks my heart that she died yesterday. I thought that she would outlive this horrific year. I thought she would outlive me, frankly. She was my hero. She fought for me. But more, she fought for every woman on the face of our nation. And I really need you, my friends, anyone who sees this video, to call your senators to ensure that they will refuse to vote for any nominee that fat rat bastard in the White House nominates. No vote for a justice until after inauguration 2021. That's pretty much my my rant. I was going to do this last night, but I freaked out and didn't. Decided that I should do it today. I'm not even going to apologize that it was 30 minutes. If you've lasted this long, you're my friend and I love you. Yeah, that's it. Have a good night.